Hi, I'm Frieder. Today I'm talking about the origin of our hero's journey approach, Jornada do Herói. And there are basically three major pathways we followed to create our version. The first is very famous. It's the one of Joseph Campbell. He compared a lot of different heroes' journeys and stories all over the world, out of different cultures, and he mapped them as a 12-step approach. He found out what most of the stories have in common, what are the prototypes, what are the players, what are the roles, and how the hero starts into this journey by refusal, getting into a crisis, and coming back as the newborn hero. The second trait we followed was the idea of Robert Dills and Stephen Gilligan. They created an 8-step approach which was pretty much based on the state or like the mindset and the feeling, and Milton Erickson would call it the motivation for change. So they created a lot of super helpful ways to get to know yourself, get to know major steps, find some resources, and I think their biggest contribution is still that they try to integrate a dragon, integrate a tiger, instead of killing them or killing the problem. This is pretty much in the heart of our version today, but we thought it's not enough. So we even digged a little bit deeper and went back to the old Greek philosophers. And they came along with a lot of stories which deal about this topic in more a way of drama, more in a way of theater. What steps you need, what a stage feels like, what the refusal is, what kind of crisis you need to bring people in a certain feeling, into a certain attuning to the problem or to the chances. So we use these three major hero's journey approaches to create Jornada do Herói, but we made a lot of adaptations. So our major adaptation, I think, is to bring in hypnosystemic and systemic ideas that help you to get more interaction, that help you to bring it into day-to-day life, that help you to get in contact with your unconscious and find out about sides of yourself you're not super aware of. And at the same time, it's not just about utilization. It's not just about have some certain priming. It's also about understanding your context, understanding the ecosystem you're operating in, and creating a different kind of transfer or like transfer support. I like to call it performance support, because it's not about a seminar, it's about bringing this into your day-to-day life, bring it to life. And to make this, or like to support that idea, we also focused on media. And there's a lot of good study done, not just in the 60s by Marshall McLuhan, but until today. And especially when you think of how many people are using an iPhone, an iPad, or other smart devices, and how much they determine how we live our life, how much we are depending on them. I think it's very clever to use them for your own personal development. It's smart to offer an online course like this to prepare you for something you can use every day, every night, 24/7. And media has a special type of impulse. So it's not just a saying of Marshall McLuhan, the medium is the message. I think there are just certain media aspects, or there are some certain aspects of the message you can deliver by certain media. And thirdly, we integrated the idea of spiral dynamics, which was created by Clare Graves. Basically, this is about development and developmental stages. So it's helping you to understand not just how a child develops or how a society develops, it's also helping you to understand your values, your beliefs, what you need in a certain stage, what you maybe need to do the next step. For example, There's a stage which is pretty much about fighting and hunting, which is also something children have to learn. But later on, it's about understanding rules and bureaucracy, how to make use of this, how create liability, how create reliability to other people and to the system. So last but not least, it's not a clear direction of science, but it's super important to deal with integration and transfer. So the fourth trait we used, or fourth adaptation we used for our jornada, is how to bring this into life, how to refer to it, how to practice using what you learned in day-to-day life, how to remind you constantly of what you learned, give you an opportunity to create your own version, especially using media, using stories, and using the community. So, in a nutshell, we created something which has been rooted back to ancient Greece 2000 years ago and linked to latest neuroscience to help you to develop further, to map how you can be most authentic and most congruent to your values, and how you could be the one, the hero, the person, the friend, the father, the mother you want to be. And to support this, I also have a little task for you.